Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Scheer. I'm going to start with a little of my background. I graduated a few years ago with my Master of Occupational Therapy. As an occupational therapist, I have received training and education in infant milestones and maturation, including feeding, oral motor, fine motor, and sensory development. Most importantly, I have a 9.5-month-old son, Logan, who has quite the appetite. With my background, baby-led weaning just made sense for me to incorporate when we began the introduction of solids. Baby-led weaning is firmly rooted in the overall development of infants. The introduction of solid foods at the earliest of 6 months is appropriate because of the normal developmental readiness. This age includes the gut and immune system's ability to extend beyond just breast milk or formula. From an oral motor perspective, when a baby is ready for solids, he'll have gained the ability to lift and move his tongue side to side to move his food around his mouth and chew it, rather than simply just to suck and swallow. Around the middle of the first year, a baby's fine motor skills and hand-eye coordination are both typically developed enough to be able to manipulate, grab, and lift foods by himself. Allowing a child to handle his own food promotes independence, understanding of autonomy, and confidence. It can also result in a lot of projectile berries and tossed plates, but it's all part of that process. Sharing meals is an essential aspect of baby-led weaning. This means caregivers are the role models for food choices and mealtime behavior. In addition, shared meal times can help babies to learn which foods are safe, allow them to begin using cutlery and cups through imitation, and promote the development of speech and language. Baby-led weaning recognizes the fact that healthy term babies are capable of feeding themselves from the moment they are born, and that feeding is something they do rather than something that is done to them. At the point of birth, when they are at their most vulnerable, babies know how to feed, when to feed, how fast to feed, and how much breast milk to take in. And they will demonstrate this if they are given the opportunity. So there is no reason why these innate abilities would just disappear when he begins to need other foods. So in the same way that newborn infants are capable of locating the breast, attaching and feeding themselves, infants at 6 months, given the opportunity to reach out and grab food, will naturally begin to pick it up and take it into their mouths. When a decision to allow the infant access to solid foods is made by the infant's caregivers, the baby's first contact with solid foods happens at a point chosen by someone else. When spoon feeding is used, the opportunity for the exercise of autonomy by the infant is significantly reduced. Spoon feeding can never be entirely baby-led because the baby is not in charge of what goes on the spoon. Spoon feeding is something done to a baby. He can either accept or refuse it, and he may be able to influence its pace, but he does not get to direct it. This in turn fosters mealtime battles between the infant and caregiver. On another related note, a recent controlled study suggested infants weaned through the baby-led approach learn to regulate their food intake in a manner which leads to a lower BMI and a preference for healthy foods like healthy carbohydrates. Therefore, it can be gleaned that babies fed solid finger foods rather than purees are more likely to avoid obesity later in life and have a mechanical self-proportioning habits. Similarly, a baby who's been allowed to choose from a variety of foods will follow his nutritional instinct to fill out a balanced diet without forceful guidance. So, theoretically, the baby will choose foods with nutrients that he's lacking according to the information gleaned by his own body senses to analyze the food.